Hey there, boys and girls. Let's go with lesson 3, moving, rotating, and scaling objects. You ready? Here's the first part. It says, now we're going to move some things around. Continue to the next step. So nothing to do even on this first one. Let's go. Next. Okay, part 2. It says, now that we've learned how to move around the work plane, it's time to really get down to working with the objects, okay? So in this lesson, you're going to learn more about the physical properties of the objects, which means how they're made and what you can do with them. Instructions say, continue to the next step. Let's go. Easy. First two parts have been totally easy, don't you think? Next, part 3, it says, placing in a box. We're going to need an object to manipulate. Let's start with the box. So it says, place a box exactly within the hint. And the hint is the orange thing on the work plane. So we're going to take this box. Just watch what I do. I'm going to click and hold and drag. Hang on. I was going too slow. I'm going to click and hold and drag this out onto the work plane and try to drop it off right in the hint. That looks good. If I zoom in, that is looking pretty much perfect. If I rotate around, I can't see any orange lines sticking out anywhere, so I did that perfectly. It's right inside the hint, okay? It says, you'll notice that it isn't precisely aligned on major grid lines. That's the hint, okay? So what they're saying is that these dark blue lines, like right here, the one I'm gliding the mouse along, the dark blue lines, okay? The ones that are, there are 10 little light blue lines in between each dark blue line, okay? So each dark blue line is a centimeter. Oh, my hair, what's my hair doing? Each dark blue line is a centimeter. That's 10 millimeters. And each light blue line is 1 millimeter, okay? So that's why there's 10 of them inside of each dark blue line, okay? So, but what it's saying is, you can see right here, see this dark blue line right here that goes all the way to the edge. The box isn't lined up with that. So let's line it up, and it says, let's fix that. So it says, drag a box onto the work plane, place it within the hint. We did that. Then it says, continue to the next step. Let's go. Part 4. Look, we're already on part 4. This is pretty easy. It gets harder, but the first few have been totally easy, right? Part 4, it says, now that we have the box on the work plane, how do you move it just a tiny bit? And you do that by what's called a quote unquote nudge. Just a little push, a little, okay? And you do it with the arrow keys. So I'm not even gonna touch the trackpad. I'm just gonna use the arrow keys. Watch what happens on my screen. Okay, look, I'm moving the object this way, and I'm moving the object this way, not with the trackpad, with the arrow keys, left and right. I can also go, not up, by the way. You may want to call it up and down. The arrow keys are up and down, but this is back and forth on the work plane, okay? We'll learn how to go up and down, off the work plane and then back down, like we were jumping in the air and then back down, the separate key command. But for right now, just play around with the left and right and the back and forth arrow keys. And these are called little nudges, okay? It says you can also nudge objects along the z-axis by holding control. Okay, so we're going to hold the button down. This is how we do it. In the far left bottom corner of the keyboard, the control key, CTRL, and we're going to hold it down while we use the arrow keys. Up, and now let's look at which direction it's going. And down. Now it's literally going up and down along the z-axis, okay? If I don't hold the control key down and use the same arrows, it goes back and forward. If I hold down the control key and use the same arrows, up and down. So practice that. Practice using the arrow keys and practice holding control down while you use up and down. And then you can move it around on all 3 axes, left, right, that's the x-axis, back and forth, that's the that's the y-axis, sorry, and then holding control down, that's the z-axis, up and down. Got it? All right, cool. That's it for part 4, basically. Oh, no, it's not. It says, finally, you can nudge objects in 1 centimeter steps along any axis by also holding down the shift key. So if I hold down the shift key and then use left and right, look how far it goes every press of the key. It's going 1 centimeter or 10 millimeters. If I don't hold the shift key, it goes by 1 millimeter increments at a time. See that? Every time I press the key, 1 millimeter at a time. If I hold down shift, 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter at a time. Okay, and if I hold down shift and control, I can go in big jumps up and big jumps down. So practice that. Again, control and shift are your keys, along with the arrow keys and combinations to move your object all around the work plane with ease. So practice, and I'll see you in the next video for part 5.